Backstab in Backward Dungeon comes out this October 5th, 2025, and Cat's Eye comes out in September 26, 2025. Panels of Reincarnation is set to be released in 2026, and the final season of My Hero Academia is set to be released this October in 2025. However, there are many stories that have suffered from their anime being filled with filler and delayed for any new episodes that didn't follow the manga or the story, which should get reboots, remakes in their own anime. Plus, I absolutely have faith these manga and anime will soon get their own anime, including the reboots and remakes they deserve. First off is Kenichi the Maya's Disciple. As many of you fans of the series know that this definitely deserves a reboot due to the anime missing one arc and the OVAs, which is 11 episodes, have messed up the timeline. There hasn't been any information for the anime's return by the author since the author of the series has been posting his art, including the artwork for other series. I know this series gets a lot of fan service due to the edgy tone and the manliness that happens in the story, but this series could have been better if they if they had made it a reboot to follow the manga and add the stories probably set in the modern day with Hell Teacher Nube. However, I still have faith this series will definitely return with a remake due to the 25th anniversary coming next year, which we could finally hopefully we could get information that this anime will return with a remake to follow the manga, which it definitely deserves because it's a good story, and I believe many anime studios are going to eat up in this. The same thing could go for Sakura Current Children, since it looks similar to My Hero Academia, but instead of heroes and villains, there are espers that are good and evil that are working with both organizations that are good and bad, including a third organization that is the source of the problems, which is, I'm not gonna spoil that for you, but you should go out there and read this manga. This series also suffered from its anime, including Ghost Reaper Makami, since it's actually from the same author, Toshi Shina, who made the artwork for Ghost Reaper Makami and Sakura Current Children and other works. Plus, the 35th anniversary for Ghost Reaper Makami will be coming next year, so we'll hope to see if we could get a reboot adaptation. Because next year will be the 35th anniversary for Ghost Reaper Makami, so we'll just see what happens in that year. Hopefully it could be a new anime adaptation that is set in the modern day, like with Hell Teacher Nube, including probably a remake adaptation for Sakura Current Children that will probably release in 2027, or it could be announced in 2026 next year. I know I've been saying that a lot, but let's keep moving. Let's continue. When it comes to Toshi Shina, there's going to be a lot of anime studios that are going to probably eat up of wanting to make both of the series, Ghost Reaper Makami and Sakura Current Children, into a new anime. When it comes to new anime and artwork by Toshi Shina, there are some anime studios that are going to eat up of wanting to make both Sakura Current Children and Ghost Reaper Makami into a new anime, which I think Ghost Reaper Makami could be announced this year or in 2026, and Sakura Current Children could also be announced for a new anime in 2026 and could be released in 2027. That is my thoughts. That is just my idea. In 2026 will be the 20th anniversary for Hitman Reborn. There has been rumors and information for the anime's whereabouts, which could be said about a new season to follow up the two final arcs, or they could just reboot it into a new anime. To me, it deserves a full remake to follow the manga, including skipping all the scenes that were added into the anime since those scenes were never added. Those scenes were never in the manga, so it would make sense to remake it to celebrate its 20th anniversary. That is just me. Or am I the only one that thinks about that? The next series I believed it could get an anime adaptation would be Killer Vamp. This series looks similar to Devilman, but it has vampires instead of demons. Or it could also have demons, but it's in a different direction. The series has ended with its 25th volume, and it has enough content for a first or two seasons. The studio I could think that could make this manga into an anime would be the studio that made Devilman Crybaby and Rosario 2 Vampire, which also deserves a remake to follow the manga, including its sequel, and since it's having its 20th anniversary in 2026. I haven't read this manga, but I did see the description of what the story is about. There are multiple bizarre scenes that could be seen in the manga that definitely deserves a good animation. I mean, literally. And I forgot one studio that could also make Killer Vamp could be the studio behind High School DxD that made season 1 to 4, which we still have no new information for season 5. When it comes to the world of Manhua, there are a few series that I think could get an anime adaptation. The first will be Battle Through the Heavens, since it has 75 volumes and 1,600 chapters. That would be enough content for multiple seasons, including a movie, or they could just split this series into a movie series, or they could just make this into an actual anime. Which this series is one of my favorite manhwa, including favorite manga. The studio I think that could probably eat this up would be the studio behind Domachi Season 5 and the studio behind Sword Art Online, which we have no information for the movie's release. Another manhwa would be Stalker X Stalker. I did seeing this in YouTube, but it was most likely I was a teenager back in the time, so I most likely saw this in YouTube, but I haven't got into finishing watching it, so I think I might read this one. But to me, however, this is actually from Webtoon, so it does probably have some contact into actually making it into an anime series. The last series I want to talk about before ending the video would be a manga called Flame Areka. This series did have an anime, but it was forgotten and wasn't faithful to the manga. That's what many people had said. But the 2026 will be the 30th anniversary for this series, so it would be a good chance for this series to make a comeback with a new anime that is set in the modern era. I read 9 chapters and I'm now at chapter 10, and this series should definitely get a new anime adaptation for its 30th anniversary. This series has 329 chapters, which would be enough content for a full anime series, which hopefully will be faithful to the manga. I hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me what you guys think of these anime and manhwa and manga getting remakes, reboots, and its own anime. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to ring the bell to get notified for new videos. I do not own any of these artwork. Sorry about that, it was construction work. Anyway, I do not own any of these artwork. These belong to its rightful owners. And I'll see you all in the next video. This is Iron Angel.